College football action for Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific window in the Big Ten, with Indiana taking on Maryland in this one. Pardon me just a moment. This is 133, 134. The Maryland Terrapins, a 14-point favorite here now, and the total is 50. This one was as high as minus 16. The total opened 52.5 on Sunday when we were on the opening lines show, the Circa numbers, and they opened 52.5 and went down to 51 pretty quickly. And now this total has seen its way all the way down to 50. I don't know if that's necessarily the direction I'm headed with the total. I thought the number was pretty solid, though, right where it started. So I think there's going to be enough touchdowns scored here, at least 6. I think that works out for Indiana in this game. I would think Indiana has a strong chance to actually get the money here against Maryland in this one. It could be a one-score game. I don't know if I was going to necessarily go premium here in this one with the Hoosiers, but I think that's who I prefer. It was a missed field goal at the end of regulation that basically saved the Hoosiers from losing. They were outgained by a couple hundred yards. Maryland, meanwhile, they've scored all those points. So I feel like Indiana can keep up, though, with them. I'm not saying the number should be higher or anything. Thomas says Maryland wins and Indiana gets some money. That would work for me. I feel like that's the way I want to go in this one. Taking Indiana here plus 14 points. Here's Baylor at Central Florida. Central Florida, 12.5-point favorite, and the total in this one is 55. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's the last interruption. In this one, the total opened at circa 48.5, and it was immediately bet up to 55. They pounded it, obviously. I'm not sure what I think I know what they're thinking here, but I'm not sure that I agree with it necessarily. Now the Bears, look, Baylor there's something wrong here. They're going downhill pretty fast. Their offense does not look very good. They face some good opponents, but to only have 19 points in those games against power conference teams, it's not looking very, very bright here for Baylor. I do want to give them a chance against Central Florida. Like, this is a point. Now with this type of matchup, I think they can get a little bit of a floor here, especially if they're getting double digits. I think that Baylor can hang in a game like this for sure. And I don't know what was it the Sharps that bumped this total up, or what were they thinking? Is it still 57? No, it's 55. Okay, it went as high as 57. Okay, and then it was bought back. I like this. They're not going to score enough points. Baylor's not going to score enough points. They may have enough defense here. They don't stop the run very well, but they might have to run a little bit. We're not seeing Central Florida's passing game exactly what we've seen in the past, right? For whatever reason, it has not looked as solid as what we saw when Central Florida was, and they're still they're still Central Florida. That's why they're favored by double digits here over Baylor. But I'd have to think that this is, kind of a flat point here where a Baylor finally, they're 1-3. Central Florida's won a couple of home games so far. But feels like if you're getting some double digits here, I'd probably be looking to, get involved with Baylor. At least at 12, yeah, wouldn't mind a couple of at least 14 points, but probably going to have to settle for this 12 and a half. So I'm going to take the Bears in this one against Central Florida with Michigan and Nebraska. I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting. I think there's going to be excitement in Lincoln to have the number 2 team coming in here. And they're not, this is a spot Nebraska probably can handle. Because this is not going to be pretty. The total looks pretty high. 39. Nebraska's defense is pretty great. To me, it looks like almost like we're back. I say we're back. Now, I know Michigan probably going to get a lot of backing here in this one, but I'm not sure they can score points on the road here like this to win a game kind of going away or something. What are you trying to tell me? I already know I'm going to like the under heavy here. I'm not going to give it out on the show. You have to pay for it. But for me, it looks like more like some of this ugly Big Ten, not pretty Big Ten. Nebraska can't pass at all. They better stop New Michigan, and I think they can. There might be 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game, I would think. So it's a good test. Michigan, Nebraska's not worried about that. They're going to be, kind of looking like old Nebraska a little bit here in this one. I think this game will be like 21-7, 21-10, 24-10, 24-17, 21-10, 21-13, 18-15, 19-16. Yeah, that might be a little too close, but nonetheless, I'm going to be on Michigan here. I'm sorry, the Huskers. I'm on the Huskers in this one. I'm sorry, you guys. I know I'm going to be on an island here, but I love Michigan, right? Is this game that Harbaugh's back? They told me. I'm all about it. Let's scare Michigan. Thomas, I think he's saying how can they get it done here, right? I hope they lose too. This is a game that this game we're lying in the weeds. Come on, Nebraska kind of had to fix some of the offensive. They've had to fix some of this, just some of the execution, right? We're supposed to trust this coaching staff. They're new. They're right. We're trying to get it all back together in Nebraska. We've got a pro coach in here. We'll get it done, right? Nebraska's already won a couple of home games. We know that. Yeah, sure. We beat Northern Illinois, beat Louisiana Tech, but you know what? 3rd home game in a row. We got Michigan coming in. So we're on Nebraska here. Michigan over in 16 of their last 21 on the road, but this is going to be a little bit different, man. And Nebraska's gone under in 7 of their last 9. They're always tough they're always tough early in the season, even when the defense starts to break down later on against some of the good teams like this. Right now, I'm thinking we're going to get low scoring game. The Nebraska can handle it and stay within the number. Stay within 2 touchdowns. That's all I ask. This one did go as high as it opened 19 at Circa and been bought down here to 17. So maybe I'm not getting the right price here. And so I'll just make it my free play because you don't want to be necessarily out there touting Nebraska, but I'm going to be. All right. Illinois and Purdue. here in Big Ten action. 181, 182. Purdue here. Yeah, this is an old line. This is an old line, right? There's been a move here. I think we're actually at a pick 'em now in this game. So let's update that because that would be kind of almost CNN-ish as far as breaking news is concerned. All right, here it is. Yeah, pick 'em and 52.5. I may have just copied and pasted wrong. I don't think I ever saw 3.5. Right? Purdue was a 2-point favorite at most, I thought, but it's definitely a pick 'em now, and the total here is 52.5. And here we go. All right, Illinois and Purdue. Yeah, opened the circa Purdue -1 and went up to 2 or so. But obviously, we're seeing some steam come in here. In fact, I do see some widely reported steam here in my notes. So maybe that's where the buyback happened. I just didn't have the graphic updated or was incorrect. Nonetheless, Purdue was a short favorite. And I think the move might be warranted here to Illinois in this one. I think Illinois goes in and wins the game, quite frankly, on the road here at Purdue. Illinois, they snapped a 2-game losing streak by beating FAU. FAU, yeah, they have 1 win so far, so I don't put much stock into the victory, quite frankly. And Purdue, they have had a tough schedule, no doubt about it. I'm not saying either team has been, overwhelming here. And you look at the total here at 52.5. Boy, that thing is on. It did go as high as 53.5 and came back down to 52.5. And I like that. I actually want to wait and see if it'll go back down because I'm not sure. I think we could play this game at least to the mid 50s. In this game, I'm not looking at it like Nebraska and Michigan Big Ten action. I think these teams are going to have some problems. So looks like this total's actually been all over the place. I might not have just followed it as closely as a professional line screen watcher should. I feel like this one's kind of gotten not away from me a little bit. I maybe was anticipating the move. I'm gonna be going over. It's just a matter of when and where. So maybe I should go. Maybe I should go over right now. I feel like maybe it should be a double play. Let's do it. I'm going to give out 2 plays on this game. I'm giving out Illinois, and I'm giving out the over in this one with Purdue and Illinois. I certainly have this game in the mid, at least the mid 50s for me. So Thomas maybe on Illinois here. There was reported steam on Illinois. There was reported steam on the under. So like I said, maybe it could go. Maybe there's room to breathe. Maybe it will go lower. Maybe I should have waited. But I'm too late. Once I say something on this show, it's official. And if I say it's going to be a premium, it's going to be a premium too. So pay attention. I'm giving out free premiums. Check out my record over at Tony'sPicks.com and check out those handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. Houston and Texas Tech. Texas Tech a favorite here, 8.5, and the total 51. Oh boy, there's been some breaking news right in this game. Hold on, not breaking news, but we know that the Texas Tech quarterback now is out of this game. Slow. So the game did go as high as 10, and now it's 8.5. So that was a bit that it opened at 7. I think we knew, right, that he was going to be questionable here in this one, but I don't think it changes. I mean, I kind of already was thinking Houston, and the total, just a total dropper here. Man, I might have to give out the total right here on the show because this thing it opened at circa 60 and a half, and it's now down to 51. I already had it rated only a little bit lower than this number. But I think this situation has changed dramatically here of late. I mean, I don't want to say it's gone too low, but I mean, I feel like low is the way to go. Obviously, the opener at Circa was wrong. I mean, it was immediately bet down to 56. But since then, it's been beat down another 5 points to 51. It still feels like it's going to be a game that's played in the 40s right now. It's not, this isn't some Houston, Texas Tech game from the past. It doesn't feel like to me. Houston's going to be able to compete in this game. So let me just give out the under right now. It got steamed massively to the under, and there's probably not any value left at all. In fact, you might even consider, if you like the over, this is probably your moment. I don't think you can withstand much more pressure to the under. I mean, this has been the massive mover of the week. So, and bad for me. But nonetheless, I want to give out the under right now. I mean, there's nothing I can do. The odds makers, the players have done it. The odds makers have done it. But I still think it's a low scoring game. And once you get down to 51, you could be flirting with a closer number to 49 points. But I'm on the under with Texas Tech and Houston, like a lot of people, I'd say. All right, let's go to some thrilling SEC action here between Georgia and Auburn. And it's got to be a little more thrilling than this, doesn't it? 2-touchdown favorite for Georgia. Don't they know that Auburn is, getting it back together here? We hear this every time, but I'm an Auburn fan. If I had to hang my fandom on one of these two teams, nobody cares about that. I'd be on Auburn, but nonetheless, Georgia probably it's 14 and a half. It did go as high as 16, but has been brought back down here to 14 and a half. Steam came in on Auburn initially, or no, Steam came in on Auburn at that peak number to bring this back down. So I'm kind of was respecting that steam a little bit. And the total here, though, 47. Hey, man, I thought we were supposed to be getting some offense together. Georgia, look, let's just stay for it. They don't look like, national championship Georgia, right? And, I like the momentum that Auburn is building. Now, I'm an optimist when it comes to Auburn football. And I'm a fan of teams more. We talk about, I love watching the other channel. You got one team. I like a lot of teams, and it comes from my history of, relationships with people and just their fandom and their support and all that. So I love Auburn football. I watch it more closely than other teams, and I like them in this spot. But I also think that it's going to be we're going to see some points here, and I love that Auburn is, it feels like some momentum is building right now with Auburn. A little bit, just a little bit, right? We got some positive coaching momentum and all that, and that's sometimes the toughest hurdle. It feels like sometimes at Auburn they didn't, quite get it started or get it going against A&M. I thought, but they could shock here. They could shock here at home, I think, and I think they'll be able to score too. So I'm going to be on Auburn here, plus these points against the Dogs. I know I'm against some good cappers in this one for sure, but I'm going to respect that steam. I'm going to take these points. Not even getting the best points anymore, but getting 14 and a hook. And I feel like if Georgia's going to be a little bit down and Auburn's going to be a little bit up, let's take some points here. That's the way I feel about the two teams. And do you guys feel that way? With Kansas and Texas. Two ways to look at this one, right? I mean, number one, this is, it's still fun to have a game with Kansas, being able to compete against Texas. I mean, that's just in itself is a half a miracle. But also, it kind of goes back to the story we were talking about yesterday with the Pac-12, and it ties into some of the Big 12. We know the teams are going to different places, but the Big 12 is going to be happy to get some of these Pac-12 teams in here. Believe me. I mean, I'm on Texas as far as the season's concerned. I've been touting Texas and loving Texas right now. Good for them. But as a whole, this is a weird situation for the Big 12 to kind of be, But Texas looks, somewhat dominant here, I would think, in this game at 16.5. Now, Kansas has been pretty terrific, and, they cover against Texas a lot, but usually they're getting 42 points, 35 points. Only of late, and the spread's gone down a little bit since Kansas has shown this. And, of course, this year, with the, again, decent team here for Kansas on offense. We know that. They're explosive. They've got a good offense, man. They're fun. They can score against Texas even on the road. I don't think they can score a whole lot, but they can, stay in here. But if it's going to be under 3 touchdowns, kind of be ending up on Texas, I would think. Of course, you got the big game on deck, but still, I think the Texas, for me, hasn't reached their, I wouldn't say potential. I think we're seeing the potential, but I think they're still not getting their just due, because there's enough of the crowd out there that wants to still say, Texas is always an imposter. And in the back of my mind, I feel that way too. But watching the game, it feels like, no, this is a little bit different. And there is reason to think that there is, right? Because of the way the growth has evolved, the coaching situation and involvement for Texas. Kansas is good. This is great. Like I said, this is great to have them performing this well right now. But for me, it does feel like Kansas. And this total, look, it opened 66.5, has gone down to 63.5. I think the move was kind of warranted, but I want to see where it goes. It could get a little bit wild. I mean, Texas could start giving up some points here. I think we know that they're, good offensively, and they should have better defense in a way. They're basically, like I said, Kansas can be explosive, no doubt about it. So let me just hold off on the total here, and I'm going to take Texas and lay 16.5. Definitely would get it down to 16 minimum here in this one. I'm laying 16.5 on the show. That's all I can do. It's not terrible. It's not 17, but if I could take 16, I would. So I don't work it down to 15, right? I work it down to 16. I'm not worried about 15s in margins like that. So give me Texas here in this one against Kansas. Go Kansas. I hope it's exciting. I hope it's fun. I hope there's a lot of points. I know there will be a lot of points, but feels like right now the total 66.5 I could live with. New Mexico and Wyoming, cover a little Mountain West action. That's about as low as I'll go. I don't even think, I just follow it so closely. So I'm probably going to touch on the Mountain West and kind of leave the MAC alone. We'll have plenty of MAC cover. Tony's got all the games for you on the YouTube channel with all the MAC games as well, all the AACs, all the whatever we've got most of all the good ones here for you. So I know they want more. I hear you. New Mexico and Wyoming in this one, and we'll have more later. We're not going to cut off yet, but we'll have some on Saturday as well. We'll get into NFL tomorrow, early or a little bit early slate tomorrow. New Mexico and Wyoming, 165, 166. Wyoming a 2-touchdown favorite, and the total 42.5. All right, the Cowboys opened up a 10 on the show that we did on Sunday with the live betting lines, and was immediately bet up to 11. Since then, it's gone up 3 more points. Some steam came in on Wyoming, and some steam came in on the over. It opened 41.5. Didn't go. It maybe touched 41 for a little while, but then got steamed up to 42.5 here. That's not a lot. Not a lot of movement, I would say, as far as the steam is concerned, on a lower scoring, game that we're expecting a little bit a lower scoring. So, for me, if it gets any higher, I'm probably going to have to take New Mexico in this one. I mean, I know it's not going well right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But at 2 touchdowns, I mean, I know everybody likes what they've seen from Wyoming, but this is still and okay, New Mexico, it's been bad. So maybe we shouldn't have covered the Mountain West here at this point, but I want to, and that line movement's going to probably have me on New Mexico. I trust the steam here in this one, and I think it will end up going over here. So let me do that. I'm going to take the over with New Mexico and Wyoming. It's not going to be much over this, that's for sure, but I do trust the movement and the fact that my number is a little bit higher in the mid 40s. I'm never gonna find a premium on this, so I'm kind of looking at the side and trying to find my way to. I'm gonna try to find my way to New Mexico. I don't know if anybody's ever said that, but shout out anybody from New Mexico. Albuquerque is great, though, actually. So, all right, I'm going to take the over in this one with New Mexico and Wyoming. Here in town, Hawaii and UNLV. UNLV favored by 11. $169, $170. There was some steam that came in on the under. The circa number opened as high as 65.5 and was bet down to 62. Now it's found its way all the way down to 59. Any lower, and I'm coming back on. Well, any lower, I'm coming back on the over. I've got Timmy Chang against. I talk about him like he's the quarterback. I think Hawaii. I mean, who's going to win this game? Why is UNLV going to win a game by double digits? Look, we're all happy. Everybody's all happy here. The Rebel, they run, they pass. Okay, it looks good. We'll see, but they're scoring a bunch of points. Still a conference game here. Hawaii's had some trouble against good offenses, certainly, but I think this is going to be a typical. I don't know why the total's going down. Why wouldn't this game be in the mid? Why wouldn't this game reach 60 points? Hawaii's going to get at least 3 or 4 touchdowns, I would think. I don't think UNLV's stopping anybody. They might get a bunch of points too. I feel like the line. It opened 8 at circa, was bet up to 10. Believe it reached all the way to 12.5 and has been bought back here a little bit. Maybe by some sharp action. I don't know if it's been steam necessarily, but might be a little bit sharp here with Hawaii. And that might be the way I'd actually end up looking in the game. So maybe we better now. Maybe we better be on Hawaii right now, actually, and take these 11 points now. If it's been bought back here a little bit, I don't know if it's going to go back to 12. Let's grab 11. I'm going to take Hawaii against UNLV. I can't see a double-digit win in this league, in this conference. I know we're dealing with Hawaii here and all that, and the complexities of Hawaii games on the mainland and all that. They're still taking on a UNLV. This has been neat. It's been nice, and now that I'm experiencing the Rebel experience here, I mean, why wouldn't the team play? I mean, they're playing in a beautiful stadium, right? It's real close to the. I mean, not like they're at the old Sam Boyd Silver Bowl. So I think things will improve for UNLV, but I also trust Timmy Chang a little bit and what Hawaii might be able to do. Why wouldn't this be just some rando game, 35-31, something like that? I mean, there's this experience high volatility here in this game, Hawaii and UNLV, right? All right, Boise State and Memphis. But we can pick up some momentum again. All right, let's look at a couple more here in the next time block, but we're not going to get into the prime time games. Maybe save that. Maybe we can knock a few prime time games out on Friday, and then more on Saturday with the late action. That's how we'll cover it. But you're going to get plenty of free picks from me if you miss the picks. They're recorded for the channel, chopped up. You can just type in the team names and Tony's picks, and you'll get usually a pick from me and a pick from Tony. On mostly, Tony's got them all. All right, Boise State and Memphis here. This one is at 7 Eastern. So was the other two games, by the way, 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. This is 193-194. With Memphis favored by 3.5, and the total here 59.5. And this one opened at circa 3.5. I did see a line as low as 1. I never saw that line available to me, so I wasn't sure I was trusting it necessarily, but did see. This is immediately back to 3.5. I'm not even going to put much credit into that. I feel like this has been. I might have to go back and look at the show and see if it was 1. I'm pretty meticulous with my notes here, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm going to be on Memphis. Oh, here's what it was. Thank you. Okay, this was the bizarre mover of the week as far as sides are concerned. Okay, Boise actually opened a 3-point favor. Okay, that's it. My memory escapes me now. I mean, it's only been 4 days. Where are my brain cells, you guys? Boise opened in this game a 3-point favorite, and Memphis has moved to the 3.5-point favorite in this game. So that's what it was. Okay, now I understand the line move. I'm supposed to be the expert at this. All right. Let's see if we can't track that down and see exactly how, the line with line service, I can go in and I can look to see exactly how the line moved and when it moved. So, it doesn't necessarily, it's not, it certainly has to be sharp action, right? I don't think there's any kind of, big time injuries here. I mean, if anything, Boise State has the injury concerns. A little bit defensively, but I warranted this type of movement to 3.5. I mean, I was already on Memphis, so I missed that. Whatever it was a bad line, maybe. Whatever the case may be, I'm not sure, but I never had a shot at that. I wasn't lined up on the app to get that play right at that time. It didn't even come to my attention necessarily when I read it off. I think I just read it off as such and didn't even put 2 and 2 together. So Ray's on Memphis. Thomas is on Memphis. I'm on Memphis too, and I'm laying 3.5 points. It doesn't feel like it's a terrible number, actually. If Boise was a 3-point favorite, I think that I'm in that camp, right? So someone just must have pounced on this on a rogue number. Was anybody going to open it up? I'll go back and look and see, right? Because I want to know now. Because remember, I'm also looking, and I don't know if this is one of the lines that we had that was on, had an opener at DraftKings, but what we basically were saying was, uh, this game opened. And remember there were several games where Circa was not towing the line necessarily with DraftKings. They were just open up their line and see if it moved, which is great. I mean, hey, sometimes you want early action, especially those guys. I mean, they're gamblers. Palm and Stevens, those guys are, maybe they're looking to take an action, and their bookmaker that goes on Twitter and talks basically is disrespectful to a lot of books. Not very professional, but who says we are all professionals here? All right. Let me get back to I'm just taking Memphis. It's not even a handicap, right? I mean, I'm playing the market move, it looks like to me. Not getting the best of it, doesn't matter. I want to be on Memphis in this game. My numbers are pointing out Memphis is a strong spot here in this one, so I'm just going to roll with it. And take Memphis in this one. Feels like a strong play. Yeah, quite frankly, I'm not necessarily worried about this. I mean, my numbers indicate maybe it's a double-digit win. So, look, Boise had the back-to-back wins, right? They beat the Aztecs. They beat North Dakota State. They lost to UCF in Washington. So now the second straight road game, and Memphis just lost. And Boise doesn't run the ball too well, so I would think on the road they're gonna have some issues here. I would think for sure. Memphis could be better on offense, and I think maybe in this matchup they just might end up looking better on offense. But I think Hennigan, I don't know, should have plenty of time. I mean, if I'm Memphis, I'm throwing the ball all over the place. I don't know if it's going to result in an over here. Kind of leaning that way, but the total I have right there. In fact, I mean, it opened 58.5 and went up 60 and a half and back down to 59.5. I mean, that's basically what I'm saying, 60 points in this game. Maybe a little bit more, but it just feels like Hennigan against Boise State, they give up a ton of yards passing. So, Memphis, man, this is a premium. What am I doing? This is a premium right now on the show, Memphis. I could have just said that, I could have just said that without all that. I could have just did the handicap and said Memphis. But I try to figure it out. What did I have wrong on the line move? That's live video, folks. I hope it's entertaining because otherwise I'll just do videos. Okay, one more here. Missouri and Vandy. Let's keep it in the SEC with Vandy. Oh, man, it's becoming – you want Vandy to be able to compete in some of these games, man. Another one of my teams. You know what I'm saying? I like Missouri, but I don't like Missouri's, that I like Vandy more than Missouri, all right? This one opened 12 on the Circus show, and we did see it go as low as 10. It's 13.5 now on some widely reported steam on Missouri. So a little bit of a significant move here on that steam. I'm not sure. I want to try to find my way to Vandy. I want to get to the window with Vandy here somehow. Probably could need 2 touchdowns. Probably need 14 points. But I'd be more interested in buying it up to 14 or 14, right around there, get a little bit extra because they can hang in there and they can stay within 2 touchdowns in this game. I would think. I mean, Missouri just finds a way to let teams hang around. Now, the one team you figure will not hang around, right, might be Vandy because they're not getting much done right now. It's painful. I'm not necessarily talking about covering though. I mean, just talking about winning, and you just want Vandy. Maybe when they I don't know. Maybe with this whole stadium issue and all that, maybe they'll get their mojo back a little bit after that. Missouri's won 6 of their last 7 dating back to last year, and They have lost 7 of their last 8 on the road, but Vandy's lost 6 of the last 7 meetings against Missouri. Not a great matchup, but I want to take Vandy somehow. As far as the totals concerned, there was some reported steam here on the total under. It's only 55. Not quite sure yet, but that's kind of where I had it. So, not saying I couldn't get involved here still in the total. I do want to. There's a couple things I do want to check out, but you look at Missouri, they have gone under in 7 of the last 8 at home, but Vandy's gone over in 7 of their last 9 at home. So that contrast, so I'm just going to take Vandy. I guess all I can get is 13 points here on the show. And I'll be trying to buy it up. Look, that's even heavily juiced to Missouri, so maybe there's some 13.5s out there. But I like Vandy in this one to hang in there with. Missouri has a problem blowing teams out. This is about as easy as it gets. If you're going to blow somebody out, this better be it. But who are they going to blow out?